today we're in the company of High Commissioner of the Republic of Botswana, Zenene Sinombe. How are you this morning?
I'm fine, Ambassador. Good to see you.
Thanks. Thanks for having us here this morning, and we hope we have a nice interview. Your Excellency, kindly share with our readers your experience serving as the current High Commissioner of Botswana in South Africa. What are those events that stands out so far?
Thank you very much, Ambassador. I'll start very simply. Being a High Commissioner or an envoy in South Africa is simply thrilling. Thrilling because, as you know, South Africa is a very strategic partner in the Southern Africa region to all the countries in the region, including mine. So it has been such a great pleasure on my first ambassadorial posting to be sent to a country which is of strategic importance to Botswana. As you know, when SADC was formed back in the days, it was formed to reduce dependence on South Africa. And now, since 1994, we are all happy in SADC to be working with South Africa, because now South Africa is emancipated. So we are working together in many fronts from a bilateral level. We have 40 agreements between the two countries. Then at the sub-regional level, the Southern Africa Customs Union, we are working very well together in these customs union issues. And then at the SADC level, we are also working together with a bigger group beyond just the SACU member states. So it has really been a great pleasure to be working with South Africa in implementing the agenda of SADC, which is industrialization and implementation of the Regional Indicative Strategic Development Program. To be also working with South Africa on SACU matters for the development of the region, and most importantly at the bilateral level to implement those 40 agreements for the benefit or mutual benefit of our peoples.
Thanks. And staying with SADC, being a member of SADC and being posted to a neighboring country, obviously, what are the immediate tasks you face as a diplomat?
First, on that question, I want to just go straight on to the fact that, you are asking this at the right moment. Botswana is current chair of SADC, and naturally, therefore, I am the chairman of the group of ambassadors, SADC ambassadors in South Africa. So that gives me an opportunity to share with them the efforts that we are doing in this 12 months chairpersonship as a country to propel the agenda of SADC forward. As I mentioned earlier on, we are concentrating on issues of regional industrialization. I know if you read any literature on the integration part or the industrialization part of the region, South Africa is probably the most advanced, and then all the other countries still have a lot of room for improvement in terms of that. So this is one agenda that my head of state is running with, and therefore as a High Commissioner representing him in South Africa, I'm also running very hard with that. And I'm happy to be getting the support of other SADC ambassadors in putting in our contribution to the whole program that is going on. Botswana has so far hosted a number of workshops and ministerial conferences meant at addressing key challenges in the region. When we talk about poverty and food security, when you talk about energy and water issues, when you talk about illegal wildlife issues, those are some of the conferences that have been going on. In addition, of course, to ministerial trade and finance meetings and so on, all meant to push the agenda of SADC before we hand over to Swaziland at the end of August.
Botswana is celebrating 50 years of its independence this year. As with the rest of the continent, your country was experienced a long period of colonial rule. 5 decades later, how do you position Botswana as an African democracy?
The issue of 50 years just brings joy to me, because we believe strongly as a country that we have a lot to sell, not only to the region but to the greater continent and even to the world. in terms of how in our own modest way we've been able to achieve socio-economic development in the 50 years. For us as a country, we have four main pillars that have made us who we are. The issues of self-reliance, the principle of development, the principle of adherence to rule of law, the principle of Botu meaning humility. These are some of the tenets. Issues like peaceful coexistence, which we use in our interactions with our especially our neighborhood or near neighborhood. These are some of the issues that we want to share with the rest of the African continent that have made us who we are as a country. That at independence in 1966 had a handful of graduates, maybe less than 10. We had only 6 kilometers of tarred roads at independence. We had also a number of schools at independence. For you had to walk hundreds of kilometers to access a health post. Now, if you look 50 years down the line, what Botswana has been able to achieve, if you look at our GDP per capita growth, if you look at the national reserves, if you look at the infrastructure development, if you look at the level of education, if you look at infrastructure development pertaining to the health sector, we've really done a lot. And I think it is important that we must reflect. And now Botswana themselves have to then ask themselves questions, how they are going to join the government in making sure that we deal with the development imperatives of the next 50 years.
As a country with a small population, what are the areas of economic development that Botswana Authority has prioritized to make it a competitive economy?
The issue of small population, I think it's a non-issue. It is a non-issue for the simple reason that we belong to SACU, that is one. SACU is South Africa, Botswana, Lesotho, Namibia, and Swaziland. Okay, then SACU is a customs union, meaning there's one common external tariff. So if you move your goods from Botswana to South Africa or vice versa, you're only going to pay VAT. There's no excise duty that you're paying. So we're one market. We're one market. That is one. Two, we have the SADC group. We have the SADC group, which has over 200 million citizens, and there's a free trade area in place, and there's other bigger plans, hopefully in the future, to make it a customs union. There's the tripartite arrangement. So really, the issue of Botswana having 2.2 million people is a non-starter, because we're operating within a broader, we're operating with other countries to cover larger population numbers. We then, in addition, have, for example, SACU with India. We're negotiating. We have arrangements like AGOA and so on and so forth. There's so many free trade areas that also expand the market size. So for us, the issue of having a small population is neither here nor there.
Thanks. Botswana competes with its immediate neighbors in the tourism industry. What do you have to say in favor of your country in order to attract more visitors? What are its hidden treasures?
Right. Tourism, my brother, every single country has got a different product to offer. We may be in the same region, but I know for a fact, for example, tourists that come from places like Germany, America, and so on, they want to go to Cape Town. From Cape Town, they want to go to Namibia to see Swakopmund and Namib Desert. From Namibia, they want to come to Botswana to see the Okavango Delta, or to see the Makgadikgadi Pens, to see the Tsodilo Hills, to go to some of our national, our game reserves around the country, to see the different flavors that we offer as country. It doesn't make sense for a tourist to come from Germany to come to Botswana, to the Okavango Delta, and then fly out to Germany and come after 2 months and now do Vic Falls, go back and come back and do Cape Town. They want to do a loop. So I think we as friends in the region, we need to package our offers together, so that we basically valorize for the tourist. Yes.
Reportedly, Botswana has the lowest level of corruption in Africa. How has your country achieved such status?
I made mention of certain principles that I talked about earlier on: adherence to rule of law, self-reliance, development, vote, and so on. Those issues come from pre-independence times, those principles, and they've always brought us together as a nation. And these still guide a lot of our dealings today, including our foreign policy. And I think adherence to rule of law is very, very critical for you to avoid corruption. Corruption is a cancer that if it is not sorted, it can easily spread and it will be very difficult to uproot it. We have institutions like the Directorate of Corruption and Economic Crime, whose mandate really is to not only quell corruption but also to educate the public service and so on. We have curricula in the schools that speaks to issues of corruption. We have the Financial Intelligence Agency, which is monitoring, what would be weird movement of monies around the country. So we have been for more than arguably 15 years been the least corrupt country in Africa according to those indices that have been out every year. And it is not by magic that it has happened. It is by hard work. There also the political leadership to deal with corruption is also very important. And for example, in the last elections that we had, my president had 5 points that he used to campaign: categorical reduction of poverty, or alleviation of poverty, or total eradication. Then one of the issues was zero tolerance for corruption. I think we really take that issue very seriously, and we are so far we're doing very well. And these are some of the things that I'm saying we as a country at 50 are willing to share with the rest of the African continent on how we have done it and so on and so forth. And we also do it at the bilateral level and offer our brother and sister countries the opportunity to come and benchmark with our own Directorate of Corruption and Economic Crime, and to also see how the legislation deals with those people that have been found or are alleged to have been involved in some corrupt practices.
I do congratulate you, Your Excellency, in the sense that your country takes so serious the issue of corruption, especially being a third world country. We have the stigma as third world countries to be the most vulnerable to corruption. And being in Africa, that is actually a quite a success. And placing yourself on the top of the list of the corruption fighters, it's an accomplishment. So it's great. It's great.
Thank you very much.
Should one travel to Botswana, you will notice growth. What is your country's next 50 years development plan?
Right, there's something I need to share with you. We've been having a vision for the country called Vision 2016. We are currently evaluating Vision 2016 to see where there's room for improvement. We are working on, the President has just launched Vision 2036, which will be unveiled during the 50th Independence Anniversary celebrations on the 30th of September. Now, it's important for you to note that we are not going to throw away Vision 2016 achievement and challenges, dock them and simply have a new vision. We are going to build on Vision 2016. Now, Vision 2016 talks about those issues that I mentioned: an educated and informed nation, a productive and prosperous nation, a just and caring, nation. Those are some of the tenets that I guess we will refine as we move on into Vision 2036, having learned from the lessons that we did pick up when we were implementing Vision 2016, so that in turn these pillars will help us now zero down on issues of creating employment, of eradicating poverty, of fighting corruption in all its manifestations, of curbing, HIV and especially, mother-to-child transmission, and then ensuring that our education system delivers and churns out products that can immediately be plugged into the economy and contribute productively, to the socio-economic development of the country. So by and large, that is what you will see going forward in terms of our vision post the big celebrations of the 30 September 2016.
High Commissioner, thank you so much for sharing this so valuable information with the readers and viewers of Embassy Direct. From Embassy Direct, we congratulate the Republic of Botswana and its 50 years of independence and hope that the next 50 years would be as successful as these 50 years.
Thank you very much, Abbas. Thank you. Perfect.